So this is going to be a bit of a different video. I'm going to be walking you through how I created my creator character, Rock Lee, inside of Jump Force. This is something I want to continue to do with other characters, so if you're interested in that, let me know in the comment section below what characters you would like to see in future videos like this. Now, I'm not going to be able to do every character because there are, of course, limitations that you might already see even on this creator character, which I think is actually a relatively easy one to pull off. I'm going to walk you through how I made the base model, where to get each of the clothing pieces, and where you can get, or sorry, not where you can get, but which moves you should select when you play Rock Lee. So Rock Lee is about the same height as Naruto, so I'm going to put him right smack bang in the middle. We're not going to change that stat at all. On the body type, however, I do think we want to make him a little bit more buff than your standard Naruto character. So let's put him, how many slots is that? 1, 2, 3? 3 might be a bit too many, so you might want to choose between 2 or 3. I'm going to go with 2. I think 2 is the best slot. We can make the chest a little bigger. Let's make that a 3. With the skin color, I think I'm going to leave it on default. I've tried these other skin colors. In all honesty, Rock Lee is probably a bit more pale than this, but there's no option to kind of scale it back any further. That's about as pale as you're getting. With the hairstyle, you want to go to the very, 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 very bottom, because at the very bottom is where we have the hairstyle most closely resembling Rock Lee. With this one on the first color, you want to go to as dark as possible. With the second color, you want to go to the second darkest black. It's to give a little bit of that white effect that's on regular Rock Lee's hair. And if you go to the percentage here, you want to make sure this is on minimum. I tried messing around with it a bit more to kind of get that more glossy effect that's on Rock Lee's hair, but you end up just having a gray hairstyle if you mess around with it too much. I think minimum is the exact spot you want to be at. From here now, you want to go to eyebrows, and of course you already know, bushy brow. Now, unfortunately, because of the way that the game works, for some reason, there's no way to get a closer resembling black than the default black down here, which kind of makes these eyebrows look brown, and there's nothing you can do about that. So that's just going to be one of the limitations of the creator character in this particular case, but that's fine. We can move on to ears. I didn't change the ears. I very rarely change the ears. For the eyes themselves, though, you can move to a more circular option. I think this is the one I went with. Now, you want to find a small option, but not too small, and you also want to find one that's to the center. I think the best option you could find here is this one that I'm hovering over right now. You don't want to go for this one because it closer resembles Part 1 Rock Lee. Part 2 Rock Lee's got slightly bigger eyes, so you want to go with, well, slightly bigger pupils, I should say. So you want to go with this one, and then you want to go for the darkest black option because he actually has entirely black eyes. He's got no other color in them at all. Now we can move on to the left pupil, and of course you want to do the same. We're not doing any weird Shoto effect or anything like that. I have lost the pupil I went with. I think it's this one, right? Yeah, it's that one. Okay, cool. All right, then we go for the darkest black. With the nose, Rock Lee's nose is kind of tiny. In fact, most Naruto characters' nose are kind of tiny. It's to the center and downward on his face. So you want to find something that's pretty close to the tip of his lip, of his upper lip, I should say. I think I went for this option, which is the very final option. So we're looking pretty good right now. Now we've got some mouth options. I think this is what I went with. So that would be the second row furthest to the left. We don't have any custom features or anything like that because I couldn't find anything that matched Rock Lee. It would be nice to have the kind of weird eyelashes that he has, just the 2 coming down from the bottom. Unfortunately, we don't have that as a feature. For the voice options, I actually think you have 2 alternatives that you can choose from. You've got voice 4 and voice 7. Alright, so that's it for the base version of the character. Now, I can move on to the more interesting clothing options. For your top, you want Kakashi's kind of green tinted jacket. Don't worry, I'll show you where to get it in just a second. In fact, I'll show you where to get all of these in just a second. The bottom option, you want, I believe these are also Kakashi's. I'm not sure whose these are actually. Regardless, these kind of green tinted Naruto style pants. For the hand options, you actually want Vegeta's gloves because these are the closest things that we can get to resemble Rock Lee's bandages. For the feet, you want these sandals, and I'll show you where to get that in just a second, but the reason you want these is to resemble the weights that are near the bottom of Rock Lee's legs. Now, unfortunately, we can't have shoes that match it because the idea we're going with these shoes is the weights rather than the actual shoe portion. So the closest thing we can get to match the shoes is in the special category, which is actually these socks, which are dark enough that they can appear as shoes unless you really, really, really look at it. But that's about as close as you can get to Rock Lee's footwear because of his odd weights that he has. And we don't have any accessories, so nothing to worry about there. Now allow me to show you where to get these options. So let's hop on our bike and get going to where you can get these items. First of all, obviously we want to be at this shop right here, right in the hub world. There's so many people right now clogging up this area. Regardless, let's go to outfits, and at the top section you want to grab this Kakashi jacket. In the bottom section you want to grab these again, I believe they're Kakashis, and then you're done here. You don't need anything else, so that's nice. We can move on over to the One Piece area, which is off here to the left. I believe that's Team Beta. The shop is in the top left hand corner over here, and from this store what we're going to purchase is not a top. We've already got a top. We're going to grab Vegeta's gloves. I tried Makoto's bandages to closer match it, but for some reason you can't wear a t-shirt with that, so can't use that one. And the next area we're going to go to is the Naruto area, which is directly straight from here. I forget what team it's called, but you'll find it. I believe in you. Okay, so you want to talk to the shop owner, of course, and you want to grab these sandals. And that's going to be it for our clothing options. But the most important part about creating a creator character, at least in my opinion, is which moves you use. So let's go into our particular creator character custom moves. So of course with Rock Lee, we want to focus on taijutsu. That's why we went with the Type C combat style. With the actual skills though, for our first one, we want Muton Shot. This is a combo ender that ends with a variety of kicks, so it very closely matches what we want to be going for with Rock Lee. I don't have access to the element mechanic yet, so you might be able to customize this and it might visually look different, and it might be a closer match to what you want aesthetically from Rock Lee, because of course Rock Lee is fire, but not that type of fire. He doesn't leave behind fire effects when he kicks. For ability 2, I've gone with Draconic Aura Release. This is actually a move from Dai. It applies a buff that increases attack and physical resistance. This does drain your ability gauge though, so if you don't want your ability gauge to deplete entirely, be ready to switch out this character when necessary. But I went with this move because A, it's a buff, which is nice for a taijutsu user, but also because it's kind of aesthetically similar to what Rock Lee would do. It's like he's opening up one of the gates. It's the same type of pose that he would create. Granted, not quite, but it's relatively close. And for our final special move here, we have a move that, believe it or not, translates to Frying Pan Spectrum. It's a barrage of kicks from the air. It leaves behind a fire effect. Again, I'm sure there's an elemental effect we can change for this that makes it look a little bit better for Rock Lee, but regardless, it's a nice offensive move. It covers a lot of space. It's a pretty cool move indeed. And finally, our awakening technique is Kenshiro's Battle Grief. It gets across that taijutsu aesthetic we're going for with Rock Lee. I personally love using this move. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of moves inside of Jump Force you could use to match Rock Lee's aesthetic, but I think these are the ones that come together to make the most cohesive moveset. Let me know what you thought of my Rock Lee creator character. Let me know what characters you want me to make in the future. This is a very new series for me, so if you could leave a like on the video, it would absolutely show your support for this series. Subscribe to keep up to date with future content. My name's been Bilbzy, and I will see you in the next video.